Hi, it's Marianne from Thrive Admin Services. In this video, I am returning to my happy place, Microsoft Word, and I'm introducing you to 4 different ways that you can use breaks in your document to be able to section it out, to make it look more professional, and to help you customize elements of your content without having to reformat the whole document. So we're going to cover page breaks, section breaks next page, section breaks continuous page, and column breaks. Now, I'm a huge fan of using page breaks and section breaks, and anyone who's worked with me will have seen them in the content I produce for them. If you are unsure about anything you see in this video, don't hesitate to get in touch, but I hope that this will be really, really useful for you. So let's get started. Okay, so for this series of tutorials, I'm going to show you using my actual virtual service agreement, because I can show you all of the different elements in this one document. So the first thing that we need to do obviously is we're working in Word. I'm working on a Mac on the desktop, so my buttons may look a little bit different, but if you are working on a PC or on the web version, then I will provide some links in the video notes to show you how you can get the same information, just in case your buttons look different or you can't find them using the same shortcuts that I share. So this is a Word document, and this might be how you see it when you're working. The first thing is that in order to see all of these formatting marks and breaks that you have in your document, you need to turn your formatting marks on. So this is where we return to our old friend the Pilcrow, the little backwards P here, or the formatting marks button. By clicking on that from your home tab on the ribbon, you can see I can suddenly now see all of these things. So we've got a section break here, we've got a page break and a section break here, and we've got some columns. So there'll be a, there'll be a column break, and then continuous and a next page. This one is a table, but we'll run through each of these for you now. So we're going to start by looking at where we find the breaks to include. So we head to the Layout tab from your ribbon, and you'll see that you've got a button here called Breaks, which will have a drop down, and there are several kinds that we can use. So we're going to start with the page break, which is one that you've probably heard of and used before. So a page break is the replacement for you hitting enter, 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 enter to move your text to a new page. So a page break marks the point at which one page ends and the text then starts on the next page. In the example where I've got one here, I've got a document that runs to here. And what I want is that when this table finishes, I want everything to start on the next page. So for me, that's actually my terms of agreement, and I've got them set up as columns. I don't want them sitting underneath. I want to put a clear definition between them being this page, and then we're moving into the terms as a new section of the document. So I've got a page break there. For example, I could also insert a page break somewhere else. So I'm going to do that just to show you how they work. So if I decided I just want this information here and I want this bit from the schedule on, I want that to be on a new page. What I do is I put my cursor wherever I want to insert the page break. You can put it at the end of a line here, or you can hit enter and put it in afterwards. It's entirely up to you. And what's going to happen is that I'm going to go up here and I'm going to hit page breaks. So you see the first thing it's done is it's popped this formatting mark in, which I will remind you, if you turn your formatting marks off, they all disappear, and it's not something that will print on your document. So this is where it tells the document that at this point, that is the end of the content on the page. To show you how that works, if I was to pop in some filler text here, it's putting it all ahead of the page break. Anything I type here is moving to the next page. So that's like your a wall or a divider between this page and the next. So I've got all of this text, so I can keep typing here. I might decide I want to put in an extra 3 paragraphs. Oops, here. And I might throw in an image, and it's all going to fit in this page. Now, interestingly, if I then go like this and put a huge block of text in like this, you can see what it's done is I've got all of this content keeps running, and then this one where it finishes, we move everything after that to the next page. So it does allow you to run over extra pages. So that is how we insert our page breaks. Okay, so in this section, I'm going to show you, or in this section of the video, I'm going to show you how we use section breaks. Now, there are 4 kinds of section breaks, and today I'm going to focus specifically on the next page and the continuous ones, okay? So, again, to find your breaks, we're heading to the Layout tab and the ribbon, and then breaks, and we're now going to look at these 2 here. So for reference, a section break is where we're effectively going to divide your document into sections, and then it means that in between, so when you create a section, each section can have formatting applied to it that won't affect the rest of your document. So it partitions your document is effectively what we're going to do. And there are 2 ways we can do that. We can do it by a next page section break, which then means that the new section commences on the next page, and a continuous one where you can move, formatting rules can be applied to a particular paragraph or couple of paragraphs within a page, and the rest of the content will remain as it was originally formatted. So the best example for doing a next page break is when you're working with a table. So I find if you're doing a table, or if you want to insert a flow chart or a large graphic into a document or a report, then using the next page breaks mean that you can have pages that are landscape to accommodate those particular pieces of content, and then you can jump back to a portrait page where you've got block text. And I'm going to use this the example of our document here where we've added all of that text, and it's a lot of text. And let's pretend this all talks about a particular image, and then I want the image to sit in here between these 2, but the image, I might put it a little bit further down so that it's, I'm just going to shrink this so we can see the whole page, so it helps us see it in effect. So we've still got our page break at the end of all of this, but I want this, this text here will be talking about something, and here is where I actually want to put a really large flow chart as an example. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to insert a section break so that the next page will be landscape, and I can put my flow chart in, and then this text from here down will be on the next page after that, which will return to a portrait orientation. All right, so we're going to go, this is page 2 of the document, so we're going to go portrait, portrait with text to here, a landscape page, and then back to portrait from this point on, okay? So to do that, the first thing we need to do is mark the end of this section. So this section is our portrait page, and we're going to pop a section break in here, and we're going to do the next page. So it's going to insert the section break and create a new section on the next page. So we click that one, and you can see I can pop that in there. I can pop more text in here if I like. And wherever this ends up, same as with a page break, if it moves from page to page, that's fine. Once I've decided that is the end of that section and I want to move to my landscape page, that's what that break does. Now here, I know is where I'm going to put my image. And then this is going to be the new section. So I'm going to put a space in, and then I'm actually going to put another section break in, because this bit here is going to be my section, okay? So we have to divide the page up into, at a minimum now, we have 3 sections. We have the first one, which is portrait, the second one, which is going to be landscape, and then the third one, which might be all the way to the end of my document now, which will be portrait again. So what we've got is we've got a section break here, and then we've got this content goes back to normal. So in here, what I would like to do is I would like this page to be landscape. And what I can do is put my cursor anywhere in here and click on it so that I'm within the section. And I'm going to actually change the orientation again from the Layout tab to landscape. And you can see my page, this page is portrait, this page is landscape, this page is portrait. And so the formatting of changing the orientation has only been applied to this section. So I'm just going to insert an image from file, and I have an image which is a flowchart. So I'm going to pop that in, and it's in that section. I'm going to make sure my section break stays on that page, and I'm now going to resize this and now I can play around with the image formatting as much as I like. I just need to make sure that I'm always popping that section break. Oops, what happened there? I'm always popping that section break. I'm going to just bear with me for a second. I'm just going to play with that so that I can bring my section break up. So now what I've got, you can see, oops, bring this up and up. So we've now got page, page, and page. Okay, so that is how a section break next page will work. The next one I'm going to show you is a section page continuous. So a continuous one is actually going to break it up and give us a section within a page. And that's going to lead on to the next type of break as well. So the section I'm going to do is I'm going to say on this first page, I'm going to make these guys these guys here, I'm actually going to make into a bullet list to help with this. So we'll zoom back in again. Bear with me. There we go. It's nice and big. So I'm going to make these, because they're nice and short, I am just going to make them into a series of bullet points. So I have 4 bullet points here. And because of the way my document lays out, I might decide that I want that to be in columns. And so we're going to talk in the next section how a continuous section break will help you create columns. So in this section, I'm going to show you how we can use a continuous section break to format a specific set of text within a page. So your continuous section break breaks your content into a section, but allows text on the same page before and after to be unaffected by the formatting you apply. I'm going to use this particular line here, and I'm going to format it to become a bullet list. So I'm just going to turn these 4 particular lines into a bullet list. Okay, so that's all fairly straightforward. I haven't done anything fancy there. We've just created 4 sentences as bullet points. What I want to do though is I'm looking at that and I'm going, oh, there's a lot of dead white space here. And in this particular document, I'm really trying to minimize the number of pages I send. So what I would like to do is I would like to be able to spread those bullet points out across the page without having to create a table, because tables are a nightmare, I know. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to use a continuous section break to be able to format these into columns. So to do that, I'm going to pop a return in or an enter, and I'm going to go back to my layout tab, and I'm going to pop in a continuous break. And a continuous break at this stage won't do anything to the content, nothing changes. I'm also going to apply one like we did with our page breaks and section break, with our next page break. I'm also going to apply a section break afterwards. So we apply our section break continuous here and here, okay? So this is a section, this is a section, and this is a section. Section 1, section 2, section 3. And section 3 would continue all the way through. If I didn't have this here, it would continue until the end of the document if I want, okay? So back up on our first page here, we've got text. This is what I want to focus on. And this is where I'm going to introduce columns. So I'm going to highlight the text that I want to format. But again, I can click anywhere in here, and we're going to go columns, and I'm going to make it 2 columns. Okay. So what it's done there is it has only applied it to, you can see this is all still straight full width text. Likewise, if I took this text and copied it and then decided like so, and I'm just going to paste it as, I'm going to not make that one a bullet point so we can see the difference. You can see what it's done. It's filling the space that I've allowed before my section break, and it is making sure that it always remains level. So that's what the columns are doing, all right? But if I just undo those edits, I'm just going to take that out so we go back to our 4. So at this stage, I've got, as I pasted them in and set them up, I've got 3 on this side and 1 on this side. Obviously, when I have 4 bullet points, I would like them to be spaced out evenly. And that is what our column break does. So a column break is like a page break, but it tells the text in the columns, or it tells the document that at the end of this section, we're going to, a column break forces any text after that column break to be popped into the next column. So it's saying that's the end of this column. Everything else needs to move across. So I'm going to show it to you in 2 formats. I'm going to show it to you here as 2 columns, and then I'm going to also show it to you as 4 columns so you can see how it spaces things out. So if we wanted 2 columns, obviously my column break needs to go after number 2 because that's where I'm going to break it. And you have to think of it as literally like you were breaking up, I don't know, what would you break into sections? Like you were breaking a block of chocolate. If you break a row, that would be your page break. And then if you're breaking it into individual squares, each one would be a section. Okay, so my column break is going here. And my column break now tells me that I want 2 and 2. And you can see that sometimes with bullet points, it can be a little bit of a faff, but now my bullet points are lined up neatly. My section break marks give me white space around it, and I can pull my section breaks up so that there is very little white space so that it's not as obvious. But I do like to have a little bit of breathing space, but it still looks neater and tidier than if I had 4 in a row with all that dead space. All right, so it's more aesthetically pleasing. If I decided that I wanted this to be 4 columns, so I'm going to go columns and more columns, and here I'm going to just bump it up to 4, and you can see that's going to spread it out. Actually, yeah, we'll do it as 4. So in this instance, my column break does not appear to be working, which is interesting. It is because there's 2 section breaks there, that's why. So let's play with that. Right. So there isn't enough text, so I'm going to put a column break after the first one, which is, there's all sorts of weird stuff going on now, isn't there? There we go. So do that one. Then we've got a column break. Oh, this is now after the column break, it's moved. So I can put that one there. I'm going to put a column break after this one. So you can see each time I pop a column break in, we're just jumping automatically to the next column. All right, so I'm going to get rid of that one. And you can see these are all, they're a bit all over the place just because of the, and that for some reason is now justifying, which is very odd. Right, so we can do that. So you can see now if I take my formatting marks off, this is all spaced out quite nicely. If I pop my formatting marks on, I can see that there's still another return there, and I could get rid of this one as well. And then when you look at it, you've got this nice white space. So they don't need to be bullet points, of course. So if I went through here and unbulleted them, it's a really great way for you to give that table effect. If you had individual graphics that you just wanted to paste into columns, if you had steps in a process that you wanted to make in bold, so I'll pop these back on and I'll show you. So for example, you might have lead, onboard, project, handover. I'll just make these also bold. So when you look at that this way, you've got sort of a process, and you could pop some other bits and pieces in. You can center all of these into your columns so that they all line up. Obviously, you can do all of this sort of stuff with tables as well, but if you don't want to play around with tables, this looks lovely and neat. It gives you all of the formatting functions, but you've been able to create that without having to import an image or create a table or throw anything else out. You've only applied that formatting to that particular section. I hope that was really useful for you. I know that there's an awful lot of information that I cover in this particular video, but always remember that you can come back and jump to the sections that are relevant. You can also bookmark or save this video so that you can come back and refer to it when you need to in your whenever you're working in a document. If you would like more support with your documents and to get to know how to use page breaks, column breaks, and section breaks better for your own business, then we should absolutely connect. If we are not already connected and friends on social media, you can find Thrive on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Pinterest. Just search for Thrive Admin Services. If you're looking to build your knowledge in a way that means you can dip in and out and ask questions as you need, then there are two options for you. You can join my free Facebook group, Microsoft Dynamos, where we host a monthly live training session, and you can pop a post in the group anytime with a question you have, and both the group members and myself will be able to help you grow your knowledge. Or if you're looking for a more targeted and tailored support service, then you should check out Thriving with 365. Thriving with 365 is a paid membership, and you can pay month by month or an annual subscription, and it gets you direct access to me, your Microsoft expert, and I can answer your questions in a much more specific way so that you have the solutions that are tailored for you and how you like to do business. If you are interested in learning more about what I do and how I can help you with your Microsoft 365 subscription, then please make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you get notified as soon as any videos go live on the channel, and you can start building your knowledge and start working smarter sooner thanks to Microsoft 365. Thanks, guys.